All right, Jake and Slade here. We're going to cover some of Miami's defense, which is, they're, they're talented personnel. And I think they let their guys, Slade, I don't know how much, I don't want to presume how much you've watched of this side of the ball, but they adhere to the process for me of keeping it simple in terms of the post snap and trying to, I was trying to make sure I say this the correct way. They give them assignment post snap, but it's not really read assignments, more so as let them play instinctual football after the snap, if that makes sense. I don't
Yeah,
think they want
absolutely.
a lot of thinking about, hey, if he goes here, I need to go there. It's exotic in look, but I don't think it's exotic in what they're asking them to do, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because with this defense, you don't want them to slow down. I mean, you can see at every level they've got athletes everywhere. So if you allow them to just play instinctual football, you're allowing them to play at their peak athletic ability, and that's
Yeah.
what's gotten them to this point.
I would say there are not many better front fours Ohio State will have played this year. Maybe
No
not a
doubt.
better one. They feature, I think, three guys who will be in the league and play in the league for a while. Grown men. Ruben Bain is 21, grown man, is going to go in the first round of this draft. I obviously think that Akeem Mesidor, he's 24. He's been around college for a while. A 9-sack player. He's good. He's grown. These are good players coming after him. And Justin Scott inside,
Yep.
at the defensive tackle position is another real threat for them that I think will be an NFL guy eventually as well. And then they play another big fella in their number 99, whose name is escaping me right now. Amon Moten is his name. He's been
Yeah.
playing a little more lately. It's not the most talented. I would say this. It's a really talented front four. I've got some questions about safety play. I think they got some really talented spot corners that play some time for them that do a really nice job. Obviously Keontae Scott does a really flexible job for them, a bunch of different positions. So he'll play in the slot, then he'll play in the box. They'll put him all over. He wears that number 0 for them, a very good football player. But I wanted to spend time highlighting some of the things they do well, but some of the ways some teams have gotten them as well. So we'll start with what I thought Virginia Tech did a great job with is using a lot of misdirection and not just putting guys in the slot, but a lot of challenging their rules and how they operate with motion movement. Some teams will bump the chain. They'll move guys to the motion. If we get motion one way, we're going to bump a gap. We're going to fit because, everybody wants to play as often as you can, as Slade is as well suited to defend the run as possible. You
Yep.
want to be gapped out if you can be. If you're not gapped out, you want to leave the least vulnerable spot. So what they tried to do all day was kind of manipulate, mess with second level with guys moving in either opposite directions to make guys have to fall back and play fallback fits or various things to challenge their run fits. And they did a great job of running the football laterally and again, some playmaking on the outside, but these are no more talented players. I mean, you could argue they're less talented players than what Ohio State's putting out there, but it's a lot of the advantage of outside zone run. And you can do this from the pistol, as Ohio State likes to, put a guy back behind the quarterback, is you challenge them to stay true to run fit, not challenge, not to climb too vertically. You can take a guy like either Bain or Mesidor out of the play by having them be backside guys instead of, if you're running downhill, it's, everybody's involved in the run fit. You can take that out of it and try to run to a strength side. But I just thought Virginia Tech, and we'll flip through some of these, did a great job of really putting the strain on, hey, we're going to make your corners tackle. We're going to make your safeties tackle. We're going to make your backers chase. And I thought they did a really good job of early in the game, lateral run game, where, again, this is kind of fit fairly well, but let's make somebody tackle in space and turn 2-yard runs into 8-yard runs. And just like, hey, is the secondary and is the coverage group willing to come up and tackle and willing to come up and make plays at the line of scrimmage in the run game? I wouldn't call them a very physical secondary at all. I think Scott's a good player, but overall, it's not a very physical group.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think it's very similar to what we talked about the other day when you talk about the offense and we say like, hey, we want Carson Beck to beat us. if we can attack them on the perimeter in the run game, and that's one of the things I have in my notes, I think we got to be able to throw the ball and have a great extension of the run game in our screens. Where
Yep.
are we going to attack them? We've got to be able to attack them on the perimeter. Like, we have to be able to do it. And so where
Yep.
do we want them to be hurt at? And that's outside on the perimeter in the screen game and the run game. And so I think that is where they are kind of weak. I think this defense is really good, but I
Yeah.
think this is, yeah, you such a great point by you to, this is where we have to attack them.
And I think when you play really strong run fit edges, and obviously they trust their linebackers to fill and take care of what I think are some pretty large run bubbles to make sure that they're not run between the A gaps, is, hey, let's pin these guys every now and again too. You know, it is a very popular concept, especially for teams that play aggressive upfield edges. Let's pin them with a tight end. Ohio State plays 12 as much as anybody. We know it's a popular topic. Hell, they'll get into 13 and even 14 when they're feeling funky, but they can get into 12 and still get some of these popular concepts that, again, make Miami tackle sideline to sideline. I think that's going to be an imperative thing for them to do in this one. Is just, can you know, if you try to do what A&M did, which is a lot of vertical run game, I think that's going to leave you in a spot that's going to be, wanting more. We're getting a little glitchy on the video here, but again, just another look at how we're taking run lane course. All it takes is one guy, Justin Scott right here, just a little too vertical that we're going to run behind it. And this is fun too, where you're, following this right through here and creating, an opportunity to get to the second level quite easily on that one. All right. Let's see here. So another concept I saw between Syracuse and Virginia Tech that worked really well is running to the bubble, man. And this is taking their, again, I don't know, Slade, if you see this a lot as an approach to really tight techniques. Sometimes it's a true center shade. But I mean, we counted that as a 0 in my day. He's a tight 3, almost like a 2-eye here. And they're leaving with their wide 9, they're leaving some real vulnerabilities through here. And
I'm not comfortable doing that when I'm calling a defense. I guess when you have the big bodies inside, you feel better with that. And obviously when you have stalwart ends, you feel better when that wide 9 where they can crash down. But yeah, this is not something that I'm comfortable with, but you do see a lot more teams willing to do this.
Now, a lot of teams will run same side power, pull the guard, not same side here since the back's opposite, but just single back power, pull the guard, block down, everybody, he's going to pop out, and it's pretty cut and dry from there. But when you get this look, it's better to pull the tackle, right? Pull the tackle, have an opportunity to get him moving to the second level. We don't even need to worry about the backside edge, right? If we wanted to read it, we could, especially Virginia Tech, who's got a pretty mobile quarterback right here. Ohio State won't have that, but you can tell Julian, hey man, if they're going to abandon that, you can pull that thing and run for 5-10 yards. But they had a lot of success climbing to the second level using this concept where they're taking that same side tackle as the back, having him follow up and through, and just hitting tight, creased A-gap runs, man. They popped one here for 40 yards into the end zone. They're going to hit another one here with it looks almost the same as what you've seen before, but it's just, I mean, it's fit. You can't fit it any better than that based on how they're pre-snap aligned, and you're still able to climb to double-digit yardage. Here's again a look at Syracuse running a very similar concept, and I wouldn't call Syracuse a very physical run team, and it's pretty easy to see how easy it is for them to take the front side tackle, right? And they're running this a little different. They're putting the back on this side now. So we're just going to have him take care, isolate down. We're going to climb here, and then we're just going to pull the backside, backside guard and have him fold up and through. It's not anything too crazy. It's just how you want to go about it in any given week, right?